Morning ASEAN. Freshen up your world, your thought, and your idea with us every weekday from 7:30 to 8 a.m. I'm Patsurang Desha Putharangsi.
And I'm Weena Jongprasit.
So finally, the 10 ASEAN member states finalized the 22nd ASEAN Summit yesterday in Bandar Seri Begawan, Brunei Darussalam.
Yes.
So, but one of the main topics that topped the agenda of this time summit was, of course, the South China Sea roles. But then just listen to one of the senior fellow at the Asia Institute in Singapore, Ian's story. He said that China was actually never enthusiastic about a code of conduct, as it does not want to sign any agreement that will constrain its sovereign building activities, and also to agree on any of the legally binding code of conduct for the sea that would likely lead to nowhere.
Right.
Yeah.
And besides the South China Sea, there were also other issues being discussed in Brunei. And our reporter, Kun Thawinee Chantanakomes, who was at the summit in Brunei, has more to say.
Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
Let's go take a look at a special report from Kun Thawinee Chantanakomes about the summary of the ASEAN summit. Let's go take a look.
In Brunei, there are a few issues that is in the highest interest for the ASEAN leaders, including security and stability, as well as economic affairs that is also related to Thailand and many of its partner country, which starting off with South China Sea, where there have been a retreat session this morning with a good atmosphere, according to a few of the ministers, where they have said that all the ASEAN leaders express their full intention to see this issue resolved to a peaceful means. Now, one of the things that they have also reiterated is that ASEAN needs to reunite their standpoint and stay together, stay put in a reunited form. And most importantly, there has to be progress in order to issue a code of conduct between ASEAN and China, which is still installed due to many of the disputes in the maritime role. Now, in the retreat session this morning, there has been discussions that ASEAN wants to coordinate with China, which they have been trying to follow the Declaration of Conduct, or DOC, which has already existed. But the main point is that they want to issue a COC, which is the Code of Conduct. The difference between DOC and COC is that DOC is the wider regulations of what should be done in the case that there is a dispute or a clashes, skirmishes that might happen. But COC will be more precise in the terms of this broader terms of those conducts. But all of the ASEAN leaders are clear that at least there should be negotiations or serious discussions of how the COC will turn out to be, or is there going to be any agreements that would lead to the COC?
The minister will meet to discuss and how to together with China continue the process of consultations and dialogue with the view to ensure effective and full implementation of the DOC and moving towards COC on the basis of the fundamental principle of international law, the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, and on the spirit of the joint declaration between China and ASEAN on the occasion of the 10th anniversary of the DOC, and of course on ASEAN on the basis of ASEAN's six-point principle on South China Sea.
Apart from that, there is the main theme of this ASEAN summit, that is the building up of the ASEAN Committee. There is a few years left to be done. So not just thinking about what will happen once we get to 2015, but thinking beyond of what might happen and what we need to do. So the ASEAN leaders all agreed that not just the disputes or issues in the region that they need to be concerned about, but they need to take into consideration what's happening around the world in the world community. In this, we also have explanation regarding the Korean Peninsula, where ASEAN has expressed worry that the Korean Peninsula tension might spread, and they want to see peace as soon as possible and wants the Six Talks Party to resume as soon as possible so that the situation will be contained in the very end. Now, apart from those issues of building up to a community of the South China Sea, there is also another interesting movements today regarding Thailand and Myanmar with the sideline talks that has been mentioned a few days ago. Details of it is that at the moment, Thailand has drafted an agreement regarding a joint venture of a company which Thailand and Myanmar may hold each 30%, and they want to officially invite Japan to join as the third party and maybe holding 40% of that joint venture company in order to manage the Thawinee deep sea port project, where they both Thailand and Myanmar also agreed that they will extend an official invitation to Japan and hopes that Japan will respond to their invitation. And that is because why they chose Japan is because Japan also lends the capital, the funds that has low interest from the government. Now, from now on, there will be 2 more meetings, which includes the joint high-level committee meeting and also details that will be discussed about a holding firm that I've mentioned earlier that needs to manage all the resources like road, water, and telecommunications in the Thawinee deep sea port project and its economic zone. Apart from that, there is also another interesting meeting of the 7th IMT-GT, which is the Growth Triangle Economic Zone of Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand, where this is also to follow up on many projects and that has come out from this framework of the Growth Triangle, and they want to ensure that there is enough capacity in order to ensure growth, a sustainable growth in this 3-party framework, where a center of the IMT has been there has been an agreement signed today between Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand to set up a center to regulate and ensure that all commitments will be met with all the member countries.
Thanks for a comprehensive wrap-up over there. Well, move on to actually, Martina Delegawa, Foreign Minister, also said that Myanmar's turn next year as chair of ASEAN bloc will put a spotlight on the country's record on human rights and democracy and should help accelerate reforms on the process. Well, actually, regarding the attacks against the ethnic Muslims in Western Myanmar that have left tens of thousands homeless and more than 200 dead, Natalegawa and also Indonesian President Susilo Bambang Yudhoyono also said that they urged Myanmar's leaders to address religious strife in the country and bring the perpetrators to justice. So human rights groups also said that Myanmar authorities haven't done enough to protect minorities and in some cases have been outright hostile to Muslim Rohingyas living in a majority Buddhist country. So they also say that while Myanmar has released scores of political prisoners, many remain unjustly locked up. Myanmar's government has formed a commission to investigate the causes of violence against the Rohingyas, which is expected to release findings soon. Myanmar will claim ASEAN's rotating chairmanship next year, which means it will organize and host meetings of diplomats working to achieve the bloc's goals to create a single market and ensure stable politics in the region. So the imminent chairmanship underscores that Myanmar has regained its rightful place in the ASEAN family. More than that, the role will force Myanmar to maintain the peace and the pace of reforms.
Myanmar Focus Daily will bring you to see how Myanmar is preparing for the chairmanship of ASEAN next year, with this interview of a top official from Myanmar's Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Welcome to Myanmar Focus Daily. For this very special episode, I am now at Bandar Seri Begawan, the capital city of Brunei Darussalam. I have a chance to talk to Mr. Aung Lynn, who is the Director General of Asean Affairs Department under Myanmar Ministries of Foreign Affairs, on how Myanmar is preparing for the chairmanship of ASEAN next year.
Okay. How is Myanmar preparing for the chairmanship next year?
Myanmar is preparing physically as well as substantially on how we are going to take the chairmanship next year, and also to host the summits.
And what have you been? What are the procedures of the preparation?
The preparation for the state level preparation, there's a committee that is headed by the vice president, and under the committee there are other steering committees. And under the steering committees, there are several subcommittees that will take care of all the issues related to holding of summits and the taking of the chairmanship.
And have you sent any observers for this summit in order to, for the preparation?
Yes, we have been sending observers in the past 2 years, starting from the chairmanship of Indonesia, and that is continued to Phnom Penh, Cambodia, and we are also sending observers at the summit as well.
Okay, and as we know that Myanmar now is having a problem about the hotel shortage, and do you think that this problem will be solved by the time of the
we are aware of the issues related to hotel accommodation, and there will be enough hotels for the delegates and for the guests who will be coming for the summits.
And what have you been discussing on the improvement of hotel and probably the internet service, because internet service is quite important
Yes.
here?
Well, as I have mentioned, there are subcommittees, and one of the subcommittee is related to communications. The communication subcommittee will deal matters related to internet service, and also to provide free flow of media access to the people who will be covering news during the summits.
Okay, one last question. What have you learned from this ASEAN summit that you think that could be used in Myanmar for next year?
We have been sending observers to the ASEAN summits, and the observers have written reports that are necessary for us to make preparations for the summits.
Okay. Questions. Is Thailand helping Myanmar in terms of preparation for the ASEAN next year?
Thailand, like other ASEAN members, is helping greatly to support in preparation in preparing for the chairmanship. The Thai ambassador in Myanmar is very active, and the Thai Foreign Ministry is also helping us to prepare for the summit. We are working very closely at the government level, and the embassy in Yangon is helping us a lot, and we are working very closely with each other.
Okay, in what area then we have the cooperation?
Thailand has helped us in capacity building, to train the people who will be taking roles in the summit and during the time of our chairmanship.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Catch up with Nylon street fashion in URBANISTA. Stay tuned. Kunwina, President Benigno Aquino of the Philippines was very positive about the bilateral relations between Philippines and Malaysia, in spite of the non-attendance of Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak and despite the Sabah issues.
Well, regarding the upcoming Malaysian election on May the 5th, Indonesia is also said to be closely watching these elections because they see it as an opportunity for bilateral ties of the two countries.
Absolutely. So when we move on to our Urbanista, so today Kun Sthapat Patong will interview Editor-in-Chief of Nylon, Miss Thawinee Chantanakomes, about how Thai people emphasize the street fashion and the differences between mainstream fashion and street fashion.
Sawadee krap and welcome to Urbanista that will keep you updated with what's happening around Bangkok and the metropolises within ASEAN region, from social lives to cultural corners. And the Thai edition of Nylon magazine just made its debut in the country early this year, emphasizing Thai people paying attention to keeping up with fashion. But when we focus on street fashion in particular, the magazine believes that Thai people can even have more fun, as the country is considered one of the shopping centers in the Southeast Asia, with clothes and accessories ranging from luxury brands to street brands. When it comes to street fashion, some may wonder how different it is when compared to mainstream fashion that we often see on the runways in Paris, Milan or New York. Thawinee Chantanakomes, the editor-in-chief of Nylon Thailand, an American-originated fashion magazine that was just launched in the kingdom early this year, shared with Urbanista that mainstream fashion is what people see as a global trend, but street fashion is how people digest what they see in runways and apply to their daily real ways. Street fashion is also generally associated with youth culture and seen in major urban centers like Tokyo and London. The fashion style was mostly inspired by influencers and celebrities in a way that they mix and match stuff of luxury brands with inexpensive stylish items to represent their own personal style. The Nylon editor said that street fashion is not only about luxury brands, but also how people use fashion to express themselves.
คือจริงๆเราสตรีทแฟชั่นมันเป็นเรื่องราวตั้งแต่หลังจากที่เราตื่นนอนเราออกไปจากบ้านเราเห็นการแต่งตัวของคนก็ทำให้เรารู้ได้ว่าเขากำลังทำอะไรหรือว่ามีความสนใจในเรื่องไหนนะคะเพราะฉะนั้นคือสำหรับทรายมองว่าเรื่องของสตรีทแฟชั่นเนี่ยมันไม่ใช่เป็นเรื่องของการนำเสนอแฟชั่นสเตทเมนต์เท่านั้นแต่มันเป็นการบอกถึงสิ่งที่เรากำลังสนใจอยู่ตัวตนของเรา
Launched early this year, the monthly Thai edition Nylon is self-dubbed as different from other fashion magazines. The editor believes that Nylon readers in Thailand do not put on stuff of the same brand from head to toe. She said that they can mix and match items of different brands, including what they already have, such as vintage clothes and shoes, to show their personality. The Nylon editor said that Thailand's magazine market is quite booming, showing that Thai people are interested in catching up with fashion. So this is a good time to have Nylon magazine in Thai edition. She adds that what makes Thai readers like Nylon is that the magazine does not say what's in or out, but show the readers how to be different and have fun with dressing activities to highlight their characters.
สิ่งหนึ่งที่ทรายคิดว่าจะทำให้สตรีทแฟชั่นของเมืองไทยเนี่ยโดดเด่นก็เป็นเรื่องของสภาพอากาศนะคะมันทำให้เหมือนกับคนไทยเนี่ยแต่งตัวด้วยเสื้อผ้าจากคอลเลกชันฤดูร้อนเนี่ยได้สนุกทั้งปีนะคะแล้วก็ด้วยกับนอกจากเรื่องอากาศแล้วด้วยบุคลิกของคนไทยที่ค่อนข้างเป็นคนชอบอะไรสบายๆง่ายๆนะคะส่วนใหญ่ภาพสตรีทที่เราเห็นคนไทยใส่เนี่ยก็จะเป็นเสื้อผ้าสบายๆนะคะ
Another factor, the editor said, is that Thailand is a hub for shopping activities. People can shop items of luxury brands in a luxury department store and just walk across the road to buy inexpensive street brand items, including those designed by Thai designers. After having been successful in America and following the same step in Japan and South Korea, Nylon is now available in 8 countries, of which 3 are in the Southeast Asia, namely Indonesia, Singapore, and Thailand. According to the editor, the Thai editorial team would not like to compare Nylon with other magazines in the same segment, but they are determined to compare Nylon Thailand with the other 7 editions in order to find the truly Thai Nylon. And that's it for today's edition of Urbanista. You can follow me again every Friday. For today, thanks for joining me. I am Sathapat Patong, and we'll see you next week.
That's it for today. For Good Morning ASEAN, we'll see you again, same time, same place, same channel.
Catch us again from 7:30 to 8 a.m. on กรุงเทพธุรกิจ TV. I'm Weena Jongprasit.
And I'm Patsurang Desha Puttharang Si. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ